Ooh, there's gotta be gold in there. Ooh, I know there's gold in there. Oh, I just feel like someone's behind me. Look at it, Jack. Ooh, what are you doing? Always sneaking up on me. He's as bad as Slim. Oh, he's trying to come up behind me. What are you doing out here?
Trying to get the gold.
Ooh, everybody's trying to get the gold. He's worse than Slim. Anyway, what are we doing today? Well, Jeff Williams here with JeffWilliams.com. And
Nevada Jack.
that's right, Nevada Jack. Slim's back in the cab. He broke his foot. He's such a klutz. Anyway, what are we doing today? Well, think back. My last video, I was going to tell you how to properly pan for gold. Well, that's what we're going to do today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set everything up, and I'm going to show you the proper way to pan for gold, and you should be able to do it in about 30 seconds to a minute. So you know what I'm going to say, huh?
Come on, let's go.
So come on, let's go. Let's get out of here. You're freaking me out, man. Stop sneaking up on me. Why are you sneaking up on me like that? Careful now. Don't you fall.
Try not to.
Go sit down over there. Woo, okay. So, like I said, I'm going to show you how to pan for gold the proper way. I see a lot of people out there doing it. Drives me crazy because they take so long. And if you're out in the field sampling, you better go through that pan in a couple minutes or less, because if not, you're wasting your time. But you know what? Before we get started, I want to say a big cowboy howdy to a couple kids out there. Ready? Here we go. First one's going to be Madison Harback up in Canada. You know who you are, don't you? And of course, 11-year-old Noah Johnson and his dad Jimmy wanted me to say a big cowboy howdy too. And then there's Robin and 9-year-old Andrew. You know who you are. And of course, Cricket and her 4 sons. 4 sons. That's Justin, Ashlyn, Mason, and Egan. And of course, there's Chris Logan and a 6-year-old Dawson Logan. You know who you are too. Anyway, I just wanted to give those big cowboy shout outs to all you guys because you wrote in and you said, I love the show. So I'm going to say hello. Hello. Okay, so first thing you're going to need if you're going to gold pan, what is that? That's right. You're going to need a gold pan. And of course, you know me, I love the Garret Super Sluice. Now, when you buy a Garret Super Sluice, it's usually going to come with one of these. It's classifier, see that? This would be considered a number 2 because there's 2 openings per linear inch. I'll go over that some other time. Okay, next, what do you got to have? You got to have yourself some dirt, that's right. Ooh, where's Slim's not here, is he? Ooh, oh, he's always sneaking up on me. Thanks for that, Jack. Ooh, look at that pay dirt. Just like Mama used to make. Ooh, but it don't taste as good. Ugh. Okay, so you're gonna need some dirt. You don't need to classify it yet. That's what that classifier is for. Okay, so what else are you gonna need? Well, I strongly recommend one of these. It's called a snuffer bottle. It's not a sniffer bottle, it's a snuffer bottle. And you're gonna want a 45 angle cut that on the top, and you wanna make sure that it's got a good trap in the bottom too. Okay, and you need one of these scoops because you need something to dig with. And of course, a lot of people don't talk about this, but this little guy right here, it's called a jeweler's loop. This is a 10 times, you can go up to a 20 or 30 or 40, but 10 times strong or stronger jeweler's loop. You're gonna need this to inspect to see if you got gold in your pan. I like this one, Old Timer gave it to me. I use it for inspecting for fine gold. Okay, then, if you don't have any gold, you can use these copper BBs. They're really great to practice with because if you can get down to this and you can get down to gold. And then of course, I tell people to get these lead pellets and you can hammer them flat. And that way they resemble a gold nugget. And that's what I like to do when I show people how to practice. We're gonna go over the basics so you can understand it, okay? Because a lot of people don't go into this. And I'm gonna go into it thorough so you can understand the dynamics involved. Okay, now, what are we gonna do? Well, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put our pay dirt inside of here. We're gonna fill this thing up, just like such. Now remember, I got my classifier in there first, see that? Classifier sits on top of the gold pan, just like that. And I'm gonna put all my, what I think is pay dirt from a river. Now, I'm not gonna put a lot in there, just a little bit. All right. That's probably good right there, for starters. Here, Nevada Jack, you can have that.
Thank you.
Okay, so, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna classify. So, a lot of guys like to classify wet, which is a good idea. Now, I highly recommend that you classify your material wet. In case there's any gold on it, it gets washed off because gold will get trapped in clay that gets stuck to the rocks. All right, so you're going to classify material. Don't throw it away. It could be a juicy nugget stuck in there. All right, now come here. I'm going to show you the principles of panning. We have all our material in the pan. You see that? It's been classified down. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to represent a gold nugget. Now see, when it's dry, it just sits there. It don't do nothing. You see what I'm saying? All right. But if I shake that pan, Watch what happens. Look at that. You see that? It disappeared. Where did it go? It went right to the bottom. Okay, that's a process called stratification. You're stratifying that material. And I've liquefied the material, which made the heavier stuff, which is the gold, drop to the bottom. And any other things like black sands, hematite, and magnetite. Now, gold has a specific gravity of 19.3, which means it's 19.3 times heavier than water, and about 3 to 5 times heavier than black sand. Ooh, sounds like Sasquatch back there. So, what that means is that when you agitate the material, you create liquefaction, and you stratify all the material, so all the heavier stuff goes to the bottom of the pan, and all the lighter stuff comes to the top. And that's what you want to do. And that's why you see the guys out there gold pan. First thing they do, what do? They shake that pan back and forth, or they'll swirl it like this. What they're doing is they're getting that heavier gold to drop to the bottom. And that's what I just did with that big old chunky piece of gold. All right, so what are we gonna do? All right, so like I told you, this material has got to be in water or underwater in order for the heavier stuff to go to the bottom. If you keep the water out and it's dry, it's hard and it's compact. See, there's my piece of gold right there. See it right there? All right, so what am I gonna do? Well, I'm gonna go counterclockwise like this. And that ensures that any gold goes right to the bottom. Now, what am I gonna do next? Making sure I keep water on there. I'm gonna tilt the pan forward like such, but I gotta keep water in it. So I'm gonna tilt it forward, then I'm gonna shake back and forth, and I'm gonna, like an ocean wave, back and forth, back and forth. Then, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna bring that material, because if there's any gold in there, it's gonna be right up here on this little riffle right here. See that? I gotta bring it back into the pan. So, what am I gonna do? Swirl around again, shake back and forth. As I'm shaking back and forth like this, I'm gonna start tilting the pan forward, like this. And what that does is that ensures that that gold is down here in the bottom of this crease. And then I'm gonna gently wash that lighter material off the top like that. See that? Okay. Round and round, back and forth, start to tilt forward. Wash about 3 or 4 times. You can see that gold coming up. Now what I'm doing is, when I'm circulating that, I'm bringing that material back away from the edge of these riffles right here. I want it away from there, circulating to the bottom. Round and round, back and forth, start to tilt forward. Then gently wash that lighter material right off the top. See how that big chunk of gold stays there? And as you get better, you use one hand, round and round, shake back and forth, gently wash. See, no matter what I do, that piece of gold ain't coming out of there. Okay, and when I get down to about, I don't know, tablespoon material, then I'm gonna back swirl. I'll show you how to do that. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna have all your heavies right up here in this crease right here. See that? Right there in that crease. Of course, that's my big chunk of gold. I'll take him out of there so you can understand what's happening. So when you get down, you're gonna give it about 3 taps. 1, 2, 3. And what that does is that makes sure that all that gold goes down in that crease right there. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna gently take that water and swirl and swirl and swirl until if you have any gold, it's gonna be right there. Now, as you get better at doing this, what I like to do is, when I got down to this material here, this little tiny bit, what I'll do, you gotta have water in the pan, tap, 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 and then what I'll do is as I'm bringing this down, I'll shake it like this. And you'll see me do that a lot. And that way I can get all that black sand material to flush away. And if I got any gold, it'll be up there in the top corner. And I'll illustrate what I'm talking about. Now, another trick that some guys will do is they'll do what's called the Alabama bump. And what that means is, if you got gold or heavies in here, if you tap the top of that pan, guess what? All the heavies walk to the top too. Now you're thinking, Jeff, what about that jeweler's loop? What do you use that for? Okay, now when you're out sampling, especially hard rock areas where the gold is really fine, like say 50 mesh or 100 mesh or minus, you're gonna need this. Because when you get right down to it, you're sampling now, okay? This isn't production. You're gonna get in there with this and you're gonna inspect to see if there's little fine pieces of gold. If there are, then you know you're on a winner. But that's why you always see guys looking in the pan. It's not that they can't see the gold, but they're sampling to see if they're on the gold first. Because sometimes you get the back end of a lead, and that usually means that the gold can be really super fine, or if you're working with hard rock gold, and that's super fine too. All right, first, oh yeah, that's right, Nevada Jack, get my dirt over here. Woo, careful, careful, okay. All right, so I got my classifier. All right, I got my dirt from a creek bed. Once again, might as well put them all in there, huh? Supper time, come and get it. What's for supper, Grandpa? All right, now I got some really fine gold in here and a couple of little baby flakes. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dump him in there too. Now I know you're thinking, Jeff, I don't think you could do it. Ooh, I hope I can, because that's Slim's gold. All right, in the water. Classify. Inspect. Okay. Hole goes to my belly button. Remember that? Okay, so here we go. Circular. Back and forth. Tilt. Wash. About 3 or 4 times. Bring the material back in the pan. Circulate. Back and forth. Tilt. Wash. Nice and easy, just like that. As you get better, you can go faster. All right, back and forth. Tilt. Like such. Nice and easy. Round and round. Tilt. Back and forth. Gently wash it out. Okay, I got about a little bit in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm going to gently wash that material off. I want to see if you can see this. Okay. Then I'm going to shake like I like to do. And then I'm going to Alabama bump. And get my glove off so you can see this. All right, I don't know if you can see this, but I got 1 flake there. I got 1 flake there. I got a little flake there. I got some little tiny pieces right there. See them? And I'm sure I got some over here too, over in this washout right here. Okay, so that's how you do it. Now, I'm gonna show you another trick real quick. Okay, now I see a lot of guys, they'll use the back of this pan right here. Ooh, I hate that, because they take forever. All right, so what do? Okay, you fill your snuffer bottle up. You let your snuffer bottle clean the black sand off away from your gold. And that way you're not wasting 2-3 hours just trying to get a few micron pieces of gold. Okay, so how does it work? It works just like this. I don't know if you can see that. So what I'm going to do is, see that? I'm washing away all that lighter material. See that? Of course, I can move that out of the way with my snuffer bottle. And what I've done is, see, I'm effectively washing all that black sand off. And then when I've squeezed all the water out, I'll bring some water gently to the front, release the vacuum on my snuffer bottle, gently go back and forth. Don't press down on it hard, just lightly over the top. And voila, all the gold is gone. Now I can still see some small pieces, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. So what I can do is, I can use my snuffer bottle to blow them up to the top. See that? Isn't that cool? And then I can just suck up again. And here's another one right there. I can see a whole bunch of little fines right there. Blow them over, and then suck them up. Just like that. That way you're not wasting all day for a few specks on the back side of your pan. Ooh, I hate that. Okay. All right. Now, remember what I told you at the beginning of the video? That's right. I'm going to show you how to do a 30-second pan. I know a lot of people don't think it can be done, but it can. All right, Nevada Jack. Go sit down. You worry me. All right, I got another full pan here. And look, nothing in my pan. I'm going to do this in 1 shot so you can see. I ain't fooling about it either. All right, I got to get some of my stuff out of here. Okay. Wash that out. There you go, nothing in that pan. Nice clean pan. I'm not gonna classify either, I'm just gonna dump it in. See that? That's about a full pan as you can get. All right, now, remember that fine gold I had in my snuffer? Okay, I'm gonna dump that in there too. I hope I can do this.
If I'd have known, I'd have brought my stopwatch.
Your stopwatch, he's killing me. Okay. All right, what's the key to the 30-second pan? All right, instead of using the water to move the lighter stuff out of the top, you're gonna use the side of your hand, like I showed you when I was dry panning. Okay, but the trick is you gotta saturate all that material. So you're gonna get your hands in there like you're kneading bread, and you're twisting, and you're breaking up those clumps, and you're making sure that water's around everything. All right, so here we go. I got the little hole to my stomach. Ready? Let's see if I can do this because I know I'm going to get wet. Woo. All right, you ready, Nevada Jack? I don't know if I can do this. All right, here we go. Use the back of your hand to push that lighter material out. Side of your hand. All that stuff that's stratified to the top. Push, push, push. All right, I'm getting down to the bottom here. I gotta be real careful. I don't know if I'm getting up on 30 seconds or not. Okay, it's about as far down, so tap, 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 shake. Alabama bump. And right there. There's my goal. Couple pieces there, 1, 2 there. Woo-wee, I tell you what, I was worried there for a second. And I got a whole bunch of fines down in there too. Woo! So that's how you do a really quick pan. Instead of using the water to wash that material out after you stratified it, use the back of your hand to push it out. You gotta be careful though. You don't want to get here and push out from inside the pan. You want to raise your hand up just a little bit, because if you got gold in the back, you'll actually wipe it right out. So you're gonna just push and you're gonna leave a cavity here. You're not gonna scoop. You're gonna push from about the center of your pan out to the edge, straight across, like that. If you want to do it that way, I'm not recommending unless you're really good. So, ooh, that's not too bad. Ooh, man, I better snuff that up because I don't want to lose my gold. Oh, but look at that, I'm all such a mess now. Ooh, Nevada Jack. Ooh, I know what that is, careful. Ooh, look at that, you know what that is? Ooh, if it's in the pan, it's gotta be gold, huh? Okay, now this is a bag of pay dirt that we got from Mike Busby. He sent it down. He's the one who owns Chicken, Alaska. We're going to be going there in about July up there in Alaska. So anyway, this is some really rich pay dirt from his Lost Creek claim. Woo, and I know there's good gold in here. What I'll do is I'll pan it out, and then I'll put a snapshot up of it later. Ain't that right, Slim? You ain't Slim. Who are you? I know I must be losing my mind. So anyway, so I'll put a snapshot up so you can see what's in each bag, okay? And then I'll leave a link down below. So you can click on it too if you want to get your own bag. It's great for practice panning, I'm telling you what. Ooh, and there's so much gold in there. I think it's better than Slim's gold. But don't tell him, okay? Ooh, okay. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode of how you pan for gold using a Garret Super Sluice. And of course, my famous 30-second pan. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please rate, share, and
subscribe.
That's right. And of course, leave me, Nevada Jack, a slip a comment because we always want to know what you think about this craziness out here. So until next time, this is Jeff Williams and
Nevada Jack
saying, you want to practice your panning, but you don't know what to do? Order some gold from Mike Busby, and you'll be a pro panner too. Take care, everybody.
Don't ever do nothing like this again. Don't come back up here.
You don't have to worry about that, Sheriff.